Governor Jared Polis is promising to run interference between the shutdown and Colorado's 4 national parks using state resources to keep them open.
Denver 7's Rob Harris is in Rocky Mountain National Park with how a shutdown would affect workers there.
It's an important time at Rocky Mountain National Park. The elk are active, fall colors are lighting up the mountainside, and we're watching as a federal government shutdown looms and threatens to close national parks across the country.
You know, there's a lot of uncertainty about what the next time period might look like here in Rocky Mountain National Park.
This is Esty Rivera. She's the executive director of the Rocky Mountain Conservancy, a nonprofit that works with Rocky Mountain National Park. Rivera is also a former national park ranger herself, and she was furloughed during the government shutdown in 2013. So she knows how much stress it puts on our national parks and the people who run them.
Some of the Park Service staff, if there's a government shutdown, will have to work to provide, emergency, the minimum emergency essential services for visitors, but they won't be paid. And there are lots of other employees who are going to be furloughed. People do live paycheck to paycheck for some of these jobs, so it's difficult.
Governor Polis agrees. He signed an executive order directing the Colorado Department of Natural Resources to come up with a plan to keep the national parks open and protected using state resources if the federal government fails to. In a statement, Polis said the park shutting down would hurt our state economy, small businesses, and park employees.
There's nothing normal or routine about a government shutdown. It's so disruptive to the park, to the rangers. It's demoralizing. It has economic impacts on the community.
You might be wondering how much it'll cost the state to keep the parks open if the federal government does shut down. We don't know the answer to that question yet. A spokesperson for Governor Polis's office told us they don't have a cost estimate yet, and that'll be part of the plan created by the DNR. But Rivera says the costs of closing our parks would be huge, not only to the parks themselves, but to their gateway communities like Estes Park.
There are people who guide in the park and concessions and give tours whose businesses, and those people certainly don't get back pay following sort of the economic fallout of a shutdown.
Rivera says the Rocky Mountain Conservancy is still holding out hope that the federal government can reach a deal, but it's ready to help keep at least one visitor center open in the event of a shutdown. For our part, she hopes we continue to come up and support the communities around our national parks.
We are stewarded to protect these places forever. So the idea that, we don't know what the budget is next week or next year.
For Denver 7,
it's really hard to protect something forever with this much uncertainty.
I'm Rob Harris.